What's up, guys? It's Sue Reviews, and today I'll be talking about my top 10 favorite Marvel movies. So I'm going to kick off and just say how much I love Marvel. It's pretty much between DC and Marvel. It goes hand in hand. I like each of them the same amount, I feel like, because each characters in their universe each give me something different to care about them for, and each have different qualities. So we're going to kick it off and say number 10. And number 10 is the first Iron Man. It was so fucking cool the first time I seen it. I think it came out in 2007. Casting Robert Downey Jr., Jon Favreau was the director, played Happy also. He does the Lion King movie, he did Jungle Book, and he does a bunch of new Disney movies too, and he helped collaborate with a bunch of the Marvel movies too, and he's fucking awesome. So anyways, Iron Man was a really good movie for the first, I think it was the first MCU movie, and then after that was the Incredible Hulk, because you get to see him in the Easter egg. So pretty much 7 out of 10, a nice hard 7 out of 10. It was like, I'll watch it constantly still. Like, it's a very, it's a good origin story, because it's all about, I don't know, it's just retelling the story of Iron Man for people, because no one knows Iron Man. It was kind of like before that movie came out and how popular he got, he was kind of just like a low B rank kind of in the Avengers squad in comics for the longest time, and then they decided to pull him out of the woodwork because they were working on the movie, I think, for like 10 years, and then it finally got greenlit, and then they cast Robert Downey Jr. between him and Tom Cruise, and that was like very controversial. I can't even say the word right now. It was very like off-putting at the time when everyone saw that, because how his like life was turning out to be before that. Like, he was fucking in rehab a bunch of times for drugs and alcohol. But anyways, he did an amazing job, because half the movie you don't even see Iron Man half the time. It's pretty much, well, you do, but you don't. Like, it goes half and half. It's a lot of it's a lot of Robert Downey Jr., and he like carries the fucking franchise most of the time. And I gave it a 7 out of 10, and it's fucking awesome. I highly recommend checking it out if you never watched it. His sequels, he gets 2 others, so he gets Iron Man 2 and 3 before like the first phase is even done. So they're good. Like, you don't need to watch any of the other ones to watch the whole like Iron Man trilogy, but it's worth like watching all of them kind of deal, because Endgame kind of gives him his like full, like, it's like his final conclusion. So I recommend checking that out. So number 9, we're gonna say the first Avengers movie, what came out in 2010, I think, and I gave that a 7.5 out of 10. It was, when first time, like, it was amazing, like, finding out that you were gonna get the event, like, the Earth's Mightiest Heroes in the Marvel Universe, like, assemble, like, all these fucking characters are gonna be on the screen for the first time, and like, it was gonna be fucking unreal. And it was, like, I remember experiencing it in the theaters, and it was amazing, like, knowing that this is the shit, like, this is awesome, and then knowing that, like, there was more to come after that was, like, the biggest, like, surprise and, like, amazement. Like, it keeps getting better and better after that one. And like, the sequel to Avengers 2, like Age of Ultron, kind of, I gave that one a 6.5 out of 10. I don't mention this one in that review, but like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't really good. It was kind of like the same version of the first one. But yeah, number 9, Avengers, 7.5 out of 10. So number 8, we're gonna say Avengers Infinity War, and that is pretty much almost that's like the 2-parter one. So that's a 7.5. I gave that, no, not 7.5, an 8.5 out of 10. It was so good. It broke box office records before Endgame came out. It was the first, so we finally get to learn, everyone's like, finally, like, Thanos is getting the stones now. Like, it's a big, like, what we learned in the first Avengers movie, like, it's finally coming, like, after all this 5 fucking years of waiting, it's finally, like, happening. Like, he's getting the stones now, and he's coming for fucking everyone. It's fucking, and it was really fucking cool. Like, after they lost, like, spoiler ahead, like, fucking, it was so fucking cool. Like, I highly recommend checking it out. Like, the visuals were amazing in it. Like, it feels like a comic book, because Iron Man's in one scene, like, trying to, like, fight, and all of a sudden, like, Doctor Strange is there too, and then, like, all of a sudden Spider-Man's on a field trip, and then he comes and helps, so it's just, like, right out of the comic book, you're like, holy fuck, because that, like, shit could happen. So a hard 8.5 out of 10, and that was my number 8. I know it's kind of low, but there's a lot of, I feel like I just have a lot of better ones that have a lot like more meaning feeling to me and everything too. And number 4, oh no, not even at number 4, sorry, I'm going the wrong way. Number 7 is Spider-Man. I'm not going to talk about the Tobey Maguire one, I'm going to do that in a separate video. So this one's all going to be Tom Holland. And I pretty much put the Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man Homecoming in the same like 7. So I gave Spider-Man 1 an 8 out of 10, and then Spider-Man 2 a hard 7.5 out of 10. It just felt like it was a little bit longer, but so I'm gonna say Homecoming it was great. I loved it. It was Spider-Man had his own movie in the MCU. Iron Man was in it for a little bit too. It was like you get to see a couple new villains, like him going to high school and stuff. So it was really cool, and just seeing Tom Holland piggyback a movie was cool. And then it made so much money. They got the sequel. Sequel did fucking good. That one had Jake Gyllenhaal in it. He was fucking Mysterio, and it was so fucking cool. You could tell they had like buckets of money, because like the opening song was like Dolly Parton, I Will Always Love You, and like it just showed like how much fucking cash Disney was making at the time, like fucking loads. So we're gonna say number 6. Sorry, I'm fucking using my hands a lot. So number 6, Civil War, Captain America. Number 3, Civil War, and that one was so fucking cool. I remember when they like just announced it, like after like Winter Soldier was like a couple of months later. They're saying like Cap 3 will happen, and that got me fucking pumped. And then they announced what the name was going to be, Civil War, but it won't really be like Civil War in the comics. It's going to be its own different way, and it fucking was awesome. It brought a Spider-Man for the first time in the MCU. It had Cap versus Iron Man fight scene with Winter Soldier in there too, and then it had like a villain on top of that, and then it brought us into Black Panther, and Black Panther showed up, and that was fucking so badass too. He was unreal. I don't have that movie in my top 10 either, but like that's a mention. I highly recommend checking that one out. I liked it. I gave that one an 8 out of 10 too. It was very like, how I describe it to people, it was a very cool movie. Like shit that happens in it was cool. Like it's very James Bond. You get to learn about the culture, and like the sequel that will happen, it's gonna be fucking amazing. Black Panther. So anyway, Civil War, a hard 8.5 out of 10. Like it's fucking great. Like it was really cool. Like, and then you get to see the spoiler ad, like the team breaks apart and everything too. So yeah, it was great. So number 5, we're gonna do Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and that one was an 8.5 out of 10 for me, because Guardians 1 did such a good job. It was so out there, like out of space, not having to do with Avengers, still dealt with Infinity Stone. So we learned, so sequel, like the second one is, we're ready to see what happens with the group of characters, the Misfit gang, Peter Quill and his crew, what happened after the first movie. And we find out he's learning stuff about his father, his past again, and the gang's kind of really broken up again, more or less. They're not really like working well together, because they've just been together for I think a few months now. And when the second movie comes in, but it was fucking great. The songs were so good in that one too. Like I have so much music on that one. I don't know, I just had a lot of emotion towards that one. Like there's a lot of good scenes. I liked that one. It was so hard, 8.5 out of 10. It was fucking so good. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Opening scene is fucking great. The music is so good. James Gunn did an amazing job, and I can't wait for Volume 3. Number 4 is Thor Ragnarok, and I gave that one a 7.5 hard out of 10. So I don't know, the first 2 Thor movies, if you're like me, or if you're like anyone else, you thought they were shit. Like they weren't good. Like it's cool seeing Thor in the MCU, but as much as I want to see him like be what he is in the comic books, it wasn't happening. Like they bleached his eyebrows and shit. Like he just wasn't sounding good. And then the third one came along, and then he had a mashup with Hulk. He lost his hammer, spoiler head, and he had to like I don't know, it just lost his hair, he looked way better, and it was just one of those things where the movie was more funnier, but it was still serious at the same time. I really liked it. It was very good. I watched it like 3 times when it came out, I felt like, and then when it came out on Netflix, I watched it like 2 times back. It's a really good watch, because you get the Hulk in it too. And it's just like it's the movie that happens right before Infinity Wars too, so right at the end you get a big like fuck like moment. And then so that's a hard 7.5 out of 10. Number 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and I gave that a hard 8.5 out of 10. I pretty much see it. It's it's just a top notch better than the second one. So I remember going across the river to the theaters with my best friend to go see this movie. It was like, the trailer looked good. I wasn't expecting much from it. I was just knowing that it was not going to really have to do much with the Avengers or anything like that. Nothing on Earth really, except for Peter Quill's origin, which we find out in the first 5 minutes. And the opening song is fucking great. Next scene, you see Peter Quill. The song fucking that soundtrack went top charts for fucking weeks, I think, and it was had all old songs on it, so it did a really fucking great job on that side. But I recommend it every time to people. I watched it fucking 3 times in the theaters. I'll watch it anytime it's on TV. I'll watch it when I start my rally for Marvel movies. I'll probably watch it too because it's one of my favorites. You get to see Groot, who's a character who he just says I am Groot, but there's a lot of emotion to when he says certain lines. Bradley Cooper, Peter Quill, Gamora, what's her name? I can't even say her name. And then Drax, which was really good too. He was funny. It was a very funny movie. It was fucking so funny. There's a lot of great comedic scenes, great action. It looked visually awesome. It was out of space. It was I can't really describe it. It was fucking awesome. The soundtrack was amazing, and certain things were just oh fuck, it's still connected to the Marvel universe in a way, because there was a stone that they had to deal with, so it was fuck, it was a whole other cooler thing. And Gamora is Thanos' daughter's stepdaughter, fucking kind of stepdaughter, so it was fucking really connected in a way where you knew that movie afterwards where shit was gonna hit the fan, because you finally saw Thanos, and that was a big surprise for me in that movie. That's why that movie, it got a big boost, because the soundtrack did so much for me. I listened to the music all the time. Come Get Your Love, it was so good. And Blue Slide Park, Hooked on a Feeling, yeah, and Blue Suede, I think it is. I can't remember who sings it. Pina Coladas, I'm Not in Love, ABCs. There's probably a couple other ones I'm missing, but there's a lot of fucking funny scenes in that movie. It's so funny. Yeah, so that's my number 3. Hard 8.5 out of 10. And next one, number 2, is Endgame. And if you're surprised, yeah, Endgame is my, pretty much, I love it. It was so good. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It was amazing. It was one of those things where you knew it was you knew shit was gonna hit the fan once they started, Marvel announced all these new movies, different heroes were gonna come out, and I just felt it, I knew that one day we were gonna see all these heroes fucking line up across a battlefield, fucking running with each other and shit like that. But man, I didn't expect it to be that fucking cool. I'm gonna do a whole review on that movie soon. I'm gonna watch it online again, probably a couple more times. I want to fully sink it in my head, and that video is probably gonna be super long, so I might want to do it with a buddy or two. But fuck, it was so amazing. I highly recommend checking it out. Watch it. It was so good. Avengers Endgame. It wraps up the whole franchise of the fucking 22 movies. It was so good for the 11 years. I loved it. I cried, I think, on multiple hands. So many times I cried. I was screaming. I was oh fuck! No fucking way! Yeah! Just shit like that. It was so great. I loved it. And yeah, it was one of those things where it wasn't a disappointment. Where compared to seeing the Justice League, I was okay. But watching Endgame, it was this completion. I know it sounds weird, but it was so fulfilling. Knowing that I get to see Spider-Man and all. It was fucking so good. And the ending and the whole battle sequence, it was so good. And time travel with Ant-Man and fucking the Hulk, man, it was so fucking good. Fucking love you 3000 shit, man, and burgers and fucking tacos. It was so fucking good, guys. Okay, so number 1 is Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and I give that one a 9 out of 10. And when that one came out, this was pretty much when sequels were a of everything. Like, they were a joke, I feel like, except for Batman Dark Knight. Batman Dark Knight came out, and that was like, oh fuck, and like, that's when people realized sequels were a thing kind of deal, but like, nothing happened after that and no other movies really. Like, other movie sequels weren't really good. Like, Iron Man 2 didn't hold up that well, multiple ones. Like, Iron Man 3 didn't hold up well, Thor 2 didn't hold up well, so like, people were worried, because like, Cap 1 wasn't very good either. Like, I cried in Cap 1 at the end. I give that like a 6.5 out of 10, because it gave me the emotional roller coaster, but like, it wasn't nothing good in the whole, like, that war sequence or anything that they had. Like, it wasn't very good. The ending flashback was very good, because it just led up to the Avengers, which was fucking awesome. But Cap 2 was so good. It's like, it might be one of the best sequels ever that I've ever watched. So good. Watching in theaters, you get to see Captain America go against his fucking Shield. Like, you find out Shield's a bust. There's fucking rogues, Hydra's fucking a part of it and shit, and he's like fucking doesn't know what to do. Nick Fury's fucking dead and shit, man. It's fucking rogues gallery, and then he picks up his sidekick, the Falcon, in this episode. His best friend Bucky Barnes returns too as Winter Soldier, as the hitman that you find out who's been doing kills all this time. Nuts, man, for the Russians. It was so good, and then like, it was good. It was on like an Avengers scale level shit that was happening, and it was just Captain America and Natasha Romanoff and the Falcon. So it was just 3 of them and Nick Shield, and a very injured Nick Shield. And it was so cool, because I think he wore 3 different costumes then too, so it was fucking awesome. So hard 9 out of 10. Sorry guys, that's my Marvel, top 10 Marvel movies. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. This is Reviews. Thanks guys.